So I am Haradhan Biswas, Academic Counselor of IGNOU. So today, uh, actually last session of MMPH J07. So today I have to take some review classes, complete review that we have to discuss. Summarize all the blocks and the important point that we have to discuss. So so far there are 4 blocks. There are 4 blocks, and there are total around 13 units. So now here actually I have tried to give you some of the important area of the particular blocks, which are the units are there that we have to discuss. Now, first things, unit 1, that is basically the basic introduction part of the compensation and the reward management. Why the compensation package is required, the concept of the compensations. Basically the concept of the compensation, it is basically the system of your rewards for the motivating the employees to the perform well in organizations. Then there are direct to indirect compensations that you have to see. There are 2 type of this category, the 2 type compensations. One is your direct compensations, where it is actually the direct compensation encompasses of the financial rewards such as basic pay, then your dearness allowance, and work times, then shift allowances, incentive pay, and bonuses, etc. And what are the profit sharing of the company? That also as a bonus or as a gratia company has to give. And apart from that, some of the commissions are also some of the company are giving. Those who are in the marketing sides. So this is all our things are the direct compensations. Now coming to indirect compensations, there your it is includes the basically some sort of your statutory things and some of your non-statutory things, that is the social security, then your welfare orientations and benefits is all basically the part of your, and that's why you are also calling as a wage supplements of the French benefits. Now coming to role of compensation. Now what is the role of the compensation? In this case, the major role in the survival goal, basically survival goal, the compensation is basically the competitiveness, because in the market you have to see so that cost is what are the company are paying the amount that is sufficient not for the living cost, basically the living cost. That you have to see, and where the financial positions of the organizations, that is also affecting your role of compensations. And basically it encourages the development of the skills and the competencies, and that also builds some of the culture also. Now coming to your structures, compensation structure, definitely you have to take some considerations within the structure. Some basic pay, DA, dearness allowance, overtime, bonus, fringe benefits, everything are to be defined in a very structured way. And by the discussion with the union also was one of the factor by the discussion with the unions, and they should also involve in this process. That compensation structure process, definitely the union involvement is required. Then the management and government also. That every the policy, when you are making some policy, structural policies, definitely you have to involve with unions, management, and the governments. Then compensation program and some of the functions and the responsibilities. They are actually basically to determine the wage rates, what to fix the rates basically. And then at the same time, the structures method, what type of structures are required for these payment purposes. Then also we have to determine the wages of the basis of job evaluations. So based on this job evaluation, based on the report, you have to fix the amount wages. And there are some equitable wage structures as also basically we are calling it the internal equity. And similarly, some of the inequitable wage structure is there. That is also normally we are calling it the external equity. And the forces, what are the forces that affect in the internal external equities? That is your sometimes the labor court decisions will affect the things. Then your trade union, there are also some of the policies are there. They are trying to include some of the things. When some sort of movements, labor movements are there, they are including the things. Then taxation rates is also another way. Then wage board recommendations. What are the recommendations by the wage board? That is also considered. And then minimum wage legislations. What are the declared by the government? That is important. So and DA etc. So this is the your we are covered. Then your some of the tools by the management purposes. Now coming to your some of the issues. So what are the issues between these things? Issues are basically your some of the tools for these purposes is recruit and retain your and qualified employees to reward and encourage the peak performances. Now coming corporate compensation policy, here actually the policies should be based on the community goals. What are the goals of their community? And see the environment also. Based on this, you have to fix the compensation package for corporate policies. Price stability, then your standard of living, wage increases, then payroll and integrated compensation plan. These are basically part of your corporate compensation policy. The issues and current trends, that also you have to see what are the issues basically. That some of the broadbanding is one of the issues. Then your team pay plan, the issues. Then your documentations. I mean, how to communicate the documentation communications. Then your knowledge, skill of competencies, restructuring. That is based on the organizations and based on the also the globalization. You have to see the scenario of the globalizations. Based on this, you have to fix your, you have to restructuring your company, and that way you have to prepare your compensation packages so that the package should be in such a way so that you can cope up the present scenario. What are the changes are coming? That changes you can take over. I mean, better. So another part is this basically your international competitions. So your that is one of the issues when you are preparing for the competition box. So unit one basically this thing. Now coming to now some of the assessment questions are there. There is the major function of the compensation program, then objectives of the compensation policies, factors and your factors and go into the determinations of the pay. These all are your things are there. Now management another question type is effective compensation policies. Then management responsibilities regarding the compensation package program, role of wage supplements in the compensation policy. So all are your uh, typical type of questions for the unit number 1. Now see your unit number 2. That is a framework of the compensation policy and reward systems. Now they are actually in the macro policy framework also you have to see. Macro policy framework basically in short the balancing the objective factors, then your some design the workforce expectations, then aligning the policies, what are the policies that should be aligned with your things, collective bargaining, collective bargaining pressures, then your effectiveness of the employee satisfactions, and your determined through the employees jointly, because anything you have to as a jointly you have to do it, where the union is also there, the representative of the union is also there, then it will be very fair packages should be there. Now divergent and another is a micro policy considerations. In that case, equal pay and equal work, that is also one of the motto that should be there. Then linked to productivity. If we see in a micro policy considerations, in a macro policy considerations, then there are some of the economy must be considered, because based on this economy also we have to do it, and difficulties in the implementation of the policies, that macro level wage policies. Macro level wage policies are considered. Now coming to micro policy considerations. And micro policy considerations, they are attractive. It is attraction that should be very, your package should be attraction should be there, and so that the employee also can retain. They can also work for certain years, not join and after that they feel the package is not good and leave the organization. That should not be. They should continue the service. So retention, you have to consider it, your package, how best it is. Then your internal and external consistencies, you have to see it. Then your ability to pay, company has to pay this package or not, that also you have to part. Then labor codes, what are the labor codes and the productivity. And another thing, the cost of the employees, I mean the labor cost, what are the things, and their productivity, that also to be considered. Then cost of living, then merit and the your seniority also to be considered, and motivation and integrity. These all are your part of your things. Now coming to divergent perspectives of the management and your labor. In this case, you see the management is concerned with the his ability, based on this ability to pay, while worker is concerned with the ability to live in the organ. So that is one of the philosophy, or we can keep in mind. Management always focus on increase the productivity. Keeping in view of mind, they are trying to make the compensation package in line with this. But in the case of workers or employee, you can say their mind always to be inclined with the, they are very much concerned about their leave, how to leave this and to work for this company. So from the management side, this is basically they are thinking the salary packages. Management basically keeping on mind in there the salary package, how, what is that? That is affected by the production cost. Based on the production cost, they are keeping and focus on the compensation package. In the other way, then you have to see your workers. They are affected by the inflations. What are the inflations in the market price, cost price, living standard price? All these things are there to consider. Now, 7 pay commissions are already put up. I mean, it is already established in the 2014, and it is a report was already submitted in the 2015. And some of the that why they need it, why the pay commissions are normally, so that the government is always required some of the talent to attract the talent people should come and join in the corporate, and they can contribute to the nations. So that's why the pay package enhancement is very much required. So minimum pay is basically set by, as per the approval, the proposal, that is the 18,000 per month, and maximum is your 2.25 lakhs per month. And for the apex scale, basically for your parliamentarians and then other the top executives, they are actually basically your considered cabinet secretaries and all these things. There it is a 2.5 lakhs per month is already yes. And now, and also it has given some of the fitment benefit is also decided. The factor is 2.57 decided. It is proposed 2.57 is proposed, and some introduction to, and it is also recommended, that is a performance related pay, that is in short the PRP, performance related pay, are also introduced for the categories of the central government employees. Now 7 PC, the 7 pay commissions, that is actually approved by the government, and it is benefiting for the around 48 lakhs central government employees will benefit it, and estimated cost will be around 30,748 crore per annum. There is a budgetary allocations are given. Now coming to your some of the questions, typical questions: why and how pay design should be linked to the organizations and the job designs, and silent features of the 7 pay, as I said right now. What are the silent features? Then you have to describe what are the things when it is established, what is recommended, what are the the fitment benefits, how much is given. That is the things. Now coming to unit number 3. Here actually economic behavioral issues, and they are the select the which theories. There are a lot of economical theories are there. There is basically your subsistence theory as one of the important theory. It is by David Richards. Then another theory is your surplus value theory, that is by Karl Marx, as established. Then where actually is giving some of the exploitation rate of exploitations. Basically is given, it is the ratio of your surplus labor divided by your necessary labor. That is your exploitation rate he has established. Then another thing, your the marginal productivity theory, that is by the J.B. Clark, he has developed. Then your the wage fund theory, there is a wage fund theory. Then demand and supply theory. Then your purchasing power theory. A lot of theories are there. Comparative advantage theories, bargaining theories, and limitations of the economic theories there. This is the way some of the things are there. Now, some of the important questions are there. That is your assessment questions, then your determination of the labor and what basis are given, and then your which rates are not the same at the wage code that you have to define. Difference between the expectation and the instrumentally. Compare the contrast and the 3 contents theories of the motivations. Then your, as we know, there are a lot of motivation theories are there. Max Law, then your XY theories. There are a lot of theories are there. Then your distinction between the internal and external equity. Is all this type of questions are now there. Now coming to international trend. It is an emerging trend because you see international competitions are there, global competitions are there. So your package should be this is the way, so that the it should be fit with the international aspect also. And limitation of the job related compensations are also there, because you see earlier traditionally we are basic DA and all this. This is the way we have decided. But now it is all our performance based compensations. Most of the international companies, especially in the USA, the most of the, around 60% companies, they are giving the compensation or whatever their package are basically the performance based. You do, you are excellent the work, accordingly you have to pay the people. So there is no as such that type of hierarchical ranking systems are there or not. So there's some sort of uh, limitations are there, because nowadays the you have to uh, make a package in such a way so that it will be globally competitive. Then your compensation should be competency based, because as I said, performance based basically you have to see the skilled people should otherwise I can say the right persons, the right people, skilled persons are getting the money, getting the pay rightly, means rightly they are paying the things. Because if we fix some of the rank systems or some of the positionals, maybe the people are joining, maybe after some times they feel I'm expert, I'm skilled enough, why should I stay here? I should change the thing, because another 3 years is required to get my promotion, next promotion. So that's why you have to see some of the flexibility type where you can put some of the competency based compensations or productive link promotion, product compensation. So that's why a lot of theories are depending on the condition of the international conditions, global conditions. So you have to manage your package in such a way so that it will be more attractive, more realistic, and more trendy. And I mean, what are the things are going on that should be matched with these things. So we are not keeping, we should not keep the things as usual the traditionally earlier we have done. So now a lot of changes are coming. Some of the questions are there. It may be how it is the competency based approach better the traditional approach. As I say it right now. So this is the way you have to explain. First, you have to see the traditional approach, and finally the present trend, present conditions, and you have to compare that this way. Give a brief overview of the international trends in the compensation and the reward management. That are also very important questions. And how do you evaluate the contributions of the employee? That is the one of the another lot of mechanisms are there, tools are there, how to measure the things. Basically, the competency-based model, how to measure of these things in different situations. Now, coming to your some of the legal things, because you see, our framework, the compensation package framework, are based on some of the rules and regulations. So, wage determinations are there economically, and some of the sociological aspects you have to consider it. Then some political aspect is also there. Then your psychological aspect, ethical aspect, organizational ability to pay, organizational really able to pay or not, see the prevailing market rate, and not only the competitors rate, what the other company are giving. So considering all these things, you have to see, and over the all, you have to see the government regulations, what the government has given, the minimum wages and all these things, what are the terms and conditions that you have to fulfill. Main things you have to see the cost of living. So time to time you have to revise it, and for that some support systems are there. Your CPI, that's why your the compensatory price index are there. That can be make up what are the inflations things are there. The trade unions bargaining power is also increasing now, and during the job evaluations, because the job evaluation during that time you have to consider all the aspects, and you have to see the employees perspectives and the same time the company's perspectives, what is the company stands there, and above all the competitiveness you have to where you are now. Some of the area of questions are what factors go in the determination of the pay. Then you explain the economic and sociological, political, uh, psychological things. Then all wages determined only on the basis of the demand and supply levels. Discuss the role of productivity and bargaining power of the trade unions relating to wage fixations. This is one of the very specific questions, and it is we should know how to bargaining the things depending on the present market. And so that's why some of the uh, you can say the collective bargainings are very important. Collective bargainings where the management and the unions and the experts, they can also collectively contribute the things so that it should be a win-win situation both the way. Union, the employee should happy at the same time. Company management is also see there should not be any payout. I mean, there should not be any problem in the financial problem. That should not be there in futures. So this is one of the very challenges, the biggest challenge for this. Now, legal framework, as you know, there are a lot of statutory rule are there, and then I can say some of the rules. What are the rules are there that we can see? That is the rule is 53. I can read out some of the rules which are very important, and accordingly you can prepare for that. The rules are very important. Okay, so legal framework, you see, there are statutory minimum wages has been decided how much to be given, and that is the act is 1948. Main thing is you have to remember it. I mean, we should remember the things. As per the minimum wages act 1948, then it is derived the things. And which are the sections also you have to consider it. Section number 4, where it is defined the minimum wages act 1948, section number 4 is defined it. Then your where you have to consider living wages, because you see the salary should be in such a way that he can live the things, that his purchasing capacity should be enough to bear the what are the money he's getting. So in 30 days per month, he can spend the money accordingly as per his family purposes, his food purposes, cloth and other activities. So living wages are very important. These are what I can say the minimum things. Another things are your fair wages. Fair wages is somewhere in between. It is basically living wages and the minimum wages just little bit in between. So it is a committee on the fair wages stand for the fall between the minimum and living wages. So this type of wages package applies. Again, some of the your it is already written. I mean, based on the reports, that is the National Commission of the Labor Report, that is 1959, where it is already explained. Now then, uh, now you see that some of the need-based minimum wages, where so that you can um, the the standard working class family can survive. Then minimum food requirements, then your clothing requirements, and the minimum rent provided you are provided under the government rules. And that is actually we know that the HRA are given only 20%. That is also are important. There are so many norms are given. There's a lot of norms are given that is in the legal framework purposes. Apart from that, there are other lot of wage act is that there is a payment, your payment act, that is wages act 1935. That is one of the act is there, and there under section number 2 in bracket section number 6, it is defined that wages is include the remuneration such as salary, allowances, and bonus paid to the employees for their employment and for their work. So you have to maintain the when you are saying some of the framework legal purposes, definitely you have to mention the act also, and within the act which section also you have to mention. Then it will be clear. The answer will be clear. Then another act is their Minimum Wages Act 1948. As I said, there are within the act there are so many sections are there. Then Payment Bonus Act is also one of the important aspects. Bonus Act, and it is also in 1955. That you have to remember. The Bonus Act are 1955, and their section is 2 and bracket 21. And within the section again, lot of subsections is also there. That is the important thing. The legal part is there. The act is there. Then after that, so many sections, and within the section again the subsections, and sometimes the amendment is also lot of amendment is also there. That also you have to consider it. Which sections earlier there, now what are the happen? It is amended or not. So that part is also. If you go in deep, then definitely you have to. And if you try to get a good marks, definitely student has to maintain the these things, section, act name, year of the act, sections, subsections. Then it will be very good, answering will be good. I mean, the examiner or evaluator will be get a happy. Yes, your knowledge power is good. So Payment Gratuity Act 1972. Here actually I'm trying to, because today is the revision class. So where are the area you have to give a more focus on the particular area, that I'm trying to highlight things. Then your Employees State Insurance Act 1948. Then Maternity Act, Maternity Act, Maternity Benefit Act 1951. Now again it is now revised already. Equal Remuneration Act 1975. Then your another Industrial Dispute Act 1947. Employees Compensation Act, this is important. Employees Compensation Act 1923. This is the I think more or less some of the act we have discussed. So now coming to next, the typical questions: how the minimum wages differs from need-based, then your living wages. And the questions are important. What are the factors are to be taken account while the fixing the minimum wages? So that's why all this section are important, because when you are as a company, when you are trying to fixing the compensation package or minimum wages, you have to considering the company's conditions, global conditions, market social, and as well as the what are the acts is saying, government rule, what are the statutory instructions is given. So considering all these things, your package should like this. So now job evaluations. Job evaluations is very important, because you see when you are first things you have to make some group job groups, which the group of jobs. Then you have to select some of the jobs. Then based on this you have to evaluate the things. So of evaluation, there's some processes there, evaluation process. So through this process, then after that it's the basically the concrete. I mean the idea developed by the based on this analysis. Now then you can see the byproduct of the job description and job specifications. You have to you can prepare these things. So first things you have to select some of the group of works. Then after that you have to evaluate the things, analyze the things. Then job evaluation process. There are a lot of areas process are there. Then after that, the outcome of the your analysis, there are one of the job description and another job specification. Job descriptions where your categorically mention what the type of job you have to do it, what the things you have to things, your responsibility, everything, and the job description is defined. Then specification is basically your overall summarize. It is summarize the thing where their quality, your educations, your background, everything are mentioned in the your specification, a particular this product or something. basically the requirement for the purpose of job. So this is the way it is the analysis part and job analysis part, and then everything has to be linked with the fixations, because based on this you have to make your wage that will be linked align with this analysis part. Implementing, then finally you're implementing the job analysis. You see the what are the shortfalls or any modification is required or not. Then you have to implement the evaluations, and finally the feedback. Now, there are some of the area of the questions are internal equity and how the job evaluation is continuous process, because once you have analysis, maybe the after 2 years, 3 years, again you have to reanalysis the things because the present scenario are not fit for these things, that compensations. So, it is a continuous process. That's why it is a dynamic natures. So explain the job analysis and the job descriptions also. These are all type of your type of questions. Now pay structures. Now the pay structures where you see the concept of the wages, and then DNS allowance, then your component, what are the components that should be there? Then allowances, wage benefits, and the social securities, terms of the insurance policies are there. So that is also to be considered in the pay structures. Within the structure, it should be all these things should be mentioned. Understanding the trend of the pay package, because see the market, see the scenario, the global markets, and the accordingly have to how best you can prepare your pay package. So during the structuring, have to consider a lot of things. Now, some of the questions may come, why the DNS allowance and the integral part of the pay package? Because DNS allowance are giving just like a for as a compensating the situation, because suppose the inflations or the living cost is now increasing, so that to how to compensate the things. That's why the basic is fixed. Basic is as per the laws, as per the fixed by the company long back. Then, but DA is variables, because that amount are market driven, because your compensation has to be compensated by based on the your living cost. So then equity, external equity of the pay services, the external equity, the payout, pays components, fair pay for the fair work is one of the common word nowadays, because compensation, there should not be any loopholes. Nobody can unhappy. Every stages you have to see it. And definitely survey is also required time to time. You have to survey the things, and during the survey you have to collect the information of the internally, and you see the external other companies data. Then all this data you have to collect it and analyze the things, then only you can have a better idea for the market, and accordingly you can fix for the pay for the next forthcoming situations. So this is our part of this. Then some of the questions are there. What is the wage survey? Now coming to institutional mechanism, some lot of institutional mechanisms also there. The public policies, legal framework, then your collective bargaining, as I said, pay commissions. The role of the pay commission is basically from the, as you know, every 10 years normally the pay commissions are there. They have to take. Sometimes it may be delayed because the commission has started the reporting process. It may implement maybe after 1 year or 2 years. It can be implemented. This is the way it's going on. Then wage board is there. The board will, as a committee, they have to decide it. Then education. There's a lot of some of them. It's basically the all are the mechanisms. How what the way there's some institutional mechanisms are there for the fixing of the compensations. Now, some of the questions may come. You discuss why the interest issues can be adjudicated. Then, what are the right issues can be. discuss the relative merits and demerits of the different method of the wage determinations, discuss the whether and why the collective bargaining is superior to other method of the wage determinations. As I said, that during the collective bargaining, unions, management, and the governments. I mean, what are the statutory instructions is given by the government? Minimum wage. So, considering all these things from the three dimensions, you have to see and finally you have to prepare the wages. So, that is the best process. The rate is superior from the other methods. Now, a reward system, why it is need? Because people has to be motivated. That's why the need is basically for the motivational purposes, and another thing to cope up the situation and the market. The basic wages, then your TNS allowance, other allowances, French benefits, these all are the basically your part of your reward system. Basically, how best you can give it to your employees. Some of the questions are explain the system of the payment of your DA, and then what is the fringe benefits. Discuss the different types of fringe benefits. So this type of questions are likely to be all are IGNOU based study material based questions. Then incentive schemes, their bonus, as you know, there is bonus act is there, minimum bonus systems are there, how much should be given, and maximum minimum is already mentioned. And which conditions you have to give a condition of the bonus, plus those are the new startup, new companies. There some of the bonus act is there. First 5 years they can only give when they are profitable, then only give, otherwise. So there is a lot of norms are there, the bonus act. Then profit sharing nowadays, it is very attractive for incentive schemes. What are the company profit is there? They can share the things as a part of the company. Stock options as another things. You have a share also, company share. Company sometimes providing also. So this is the way different incentive schemes are there to motivate the employees, to attract the employees, to retain the employees. This is all are the motto behind it for the incentive schemes. Then some of the your questions like this. What are the advantage and disadvantage of the profit and sharing schemes? Discuss whether why stock options are becoming the popular. As I said, nowadays the Infosys, as you know, one of the example, they are giving a stock option. I mean, most of the employees, they have a share of the particular companies. They are feeling that I am also a part of this company, owner of this company. So that type of feelings, it will create some of the advantage for the productivity can be increased, and in turn the company will profit margins. So this is the one of the way you can be motivate the peoples, involve the peoples in a very mass way. Then some of the typical questions: what notes of the following? The bonus, then what are the difference between sharing and the profiting sharing? So these are all type of questions like this. Allowances and purposes of the benefits, some of children allowance and your compensatory allowance, city allowance. There are a lot of allowance system are there. And another scheme is the VRS. That is one of the important part, because lot of as you reach in the 45, 55 years, company is a part of your downsizing. Basically, they have to see why the downsizing is required, because the competitions and sometimes the automation is also one of the important. Unemployment, not getting the skill enough people, so company to survive in the market, to maintain the competitive and the share market, I mean the share portions basically. So they are some of the sometimes the downsizings are maybe the reasonable, and they have to see the other feasibility. so that skilled people should not go away. And again, maybe by the time they can recruit some of the fresh peoples, fresh experts, and those who are in a highly salaried persons are may not be required because their work are now already done by the others or somehow through these automations. So downsizings are because of that. Most of the companies, that is the present scenario. It is the trend nowadays. Here is given again the when the company is thinking how to cut it. I mean the cost cuttings. So they have to give a some of the DRS scheme so that they can reduce the manpowers and salary. What are the money can be utilized for the another projects another way. So many things are there. So this is the way I think now we finish up the lot of the motamoti revise the most of the important units. I have touched upon most of the units which are the area important from the exam point of view, from the knowledge point of view, from this compensation and reward management. What are the area are very important, and you have to go through these in details for your further preparations. And you can refer to my earlier uh, sessions videos where you can get a full details. Now some of the questions from the here PRS related questions. Tax aspect of the PRS is section 9A of the Industrial Dispute Act is given, and distinct between the downsizing and the downgrading sometimes. So this is all our and another is upsizing and the upgrading also, because through the scaling you have to upgrade the company. That is also one of the area so that we can be benefited. So now I think now I have to go for some of the case studies. Shortly I can show yeah another 5-10 minutes is there. So then I have a case studies. You see, I'm just read out the cases and let's see what the we can analyze the things. The Indian Electric Company is a city-based manufacturer of welding machines and motors. When Mr. Neeraj Shah uh, established the company in 1970, he was keenly aware of the importance of a highly motivated workforce and how the company's success, in fact, depended on it. Therefore, Mr. Shah had to ensure that each employee would work as diligently as possible for the good of the organizations. So the idea behind it, that Neeraj Shah is a very good person. He has focused on the all other good things. Now let's see. Now Mr. Shah realized that the best way to motivate employees would be to link the company's reward and recognition systems to its goals. He has already realized the right things he has realized. To establish these connections, Shah developed and implemented an incentive scheme systems. Its aim was to improve the company's overall performance by allowing your contributing workers to share in the process. The plan rewards employees for turning out quality products efficiently while controlling cost. The system includes the following components. Now see what the things he has implemented, the things, what are the components behind it? Basically for the performance-based things. Now let's see. Paying by the piece rate he has introduced. Production workers are paid according to the number of pieces or product units they produce that are not defective. If a customer sends a defective part back to the company, the employee who produce it must repair it on his own time. Just see, if it is defective, then you have to do it. You have to be responsible for that. No, otherwise you will pay for this. Providing the year-end bonus To reward the workers further for their efforts, Shah introduced a year-end bonus system that gives all workers opportunity to nearly double their base wages. Workers get the bonus if the company's annual profit increases. So he has given us conditionals. If it increases, you will get the bonus. Now see another things providing the stock options. Shah also provided his employees with the option of buying the company's stock at a low cost. Employees are also given shares on the company's stock based on annual profits. So all the above financial incentives payments enable the employees to earn more and help them improve their moral and motivations. So this is all of the structure of the story. Now, question is identify the silent features and silent issues of this case. And second question is what are the additional schemes of incentives that you would suggest for sustaining the moral and motivation of the employees? Because Mr. Shah has already given a lot of things. He has for incentives payments. He has given the best. All these things has given. So you have to find it out and silent features you have to go down, you have to give it. And second question is, in addition to that, in your mind, what more incentive schemes you are suggesting that you have to see. Now let's see the answer. Now see the silent features of the case, which one of the case is general. The company is following incentive schemes, production systems. That is one thing. Number two, the system is providing to be successful for the company. Three is the approach of the management is positive, isn't it? Then four silent point is the employees are motivated and showing great trust of the management because everything are there for the well-being purposes. So it is a well trust in the management. Then fifth silent point is there is no complaint by the employees or by the employer also because everything are very good. Everywhere it is a positive environment, everything is positive. There is no negativity there. So it is all that. So this is the way you have to collect all the silent features of theirs. Why I am showing these case studies? Because if something is missing in the story, then you can identify accordingly. I can say, you can suggest this is these incentive schemes are to be introduced. This is the way. Now here everything is there. Now the question is from your side. In addition to that, what are the schemes still you can think about it? Now coming to the second questions. So what are the additional schemes of the incentives that you would suggest? The following additional financial incentive schemes can be implemented. These are additional three schemes. Provision of the bonus every year on the basis of profit and productions. That is not mentioned there. This is there based on the only profits. I mean, if you are increased, if your productivity is good, your product is there, you are maintaining the things. But here actually that should be there. It is a state cut provision should be there. The bonus every year. Definitely on the basis of the profit and the productions. Number two, provision of contingency based financial assistance for the employees because anything is required immediately from accidental point of view, insurance point of view, any children's admission purpose of view, anything, that type of scheme is also to be there. That is your financial assistance for employees will enhance the social security of the employees. These incentives are missing in the story. Third is the provision of financial assistance in case of my social events, suppose daughter's marriage, son's marriage, sons go to the abroad for the higher studies, heavy amount is required, or maybe the research, he has offered some research work for your studies. So that type of financial assistance are required. that type of provision should be there. In a very less amount of interest, company can give it. Need not to go to the bank and other. So this is the actually maybe more than that. It's a lot of things. So you have to prepare in your mind in such a way. It may be a case studies, but as well as the question also. If something question is coming, they describe the some of the incentive schemes as per your knowledge, but as per your see. Then uh, you can highlight the things. This all these points. In addition, there also you can have a what are the your experience you can write down. So I think yeah, almost time is over. So this is the way now review session is over now. I'm trying to within an hour I try to cover up all the units. Most of the units I've covered up, already touched and giving the definitions again for the through this recap also. And finally, I also to show you some of the case studies. It is totally related to your compensation reward package. I hope all these things will help for your further preparation for the studies also. So okay, I think now I can close the sessions and for hoping for looking for the another session in the futures. So okay, thank you.